Ed Schieffelin, who was a prospector, established Tombstone in 1877. On a scouting mission, Ed was lodging at what was then known as Camp Huachuca. Others would remind him, "The only stone you will find out there will be your tombstone," but he would still venture out into the bush searching for rocks. Soon he found silver. So he gave his first mine the humorous name the Tombstone, while keeping in mind the troops' warnings from camp. Soon the nearby mines generated $85 million in silver bullion, the largest productive silver district in Arizona, and the town experienced rapid growth through the middle of the 1880s. In less than 7 years, the population increased from 100 to about 14,000 people. Along with 110 saloons, 14 casinos, several dance halls, and brothels, Tombstone also boasted 4 churches, a school, 2 banks, 3 newspapers, and an ice cream parlor. All of these establishments were located above and close to numerous silver mines. Tombstone saw 2 significant fires in the 1880s. According to legend, a cigar at the Arcade Saloon in June 1881 ignited a barrel of alcohol. Over 60 establishments in the downtown area were damaged by the subsequent fire. However, the town recovered and continued to expand. Another fire tore through Tombstone's downtown in May 1882, decimating a sizable amount of the commercial district. But the town was once more reconstructed. Lawlessness was an everyday part of Tombstone. The conflict between Wyatt Earp, his brothers Virgil and Morgan, their friend Doc Holliday, and the Cowboys erupted during several months of lawlessness in Sonora, Mexico, and the vicinity of Tombstone. All of this peaked under the leadership of Ike and Billy Clanton, and their friend Billy Claiborne. The most famous shootout in the American West took place between the two sides. It was on a snowy and windy day on October 26, 1881. It would come to be regarded as the most well-known Western gunfight in history. The historic gunfight was actually held a little distance away in an empty lot on Fremont Street, despite the fact that it is frequently depicted as taking place at the OK Corral. Also located in Tombstone is the cemetery known as Boot Hill. Beginning in 1879, Boot Hill was used until 1884, when the new Tombstone City Cemetery on West Allen Street was opened. According to legend, Boot Hill got its name because many of its residents were buried in their boots, after dying violently or unexpectedly. The Cowboys needed entertainment, and the Birdcage Theater was built. It was owned originally by Lottie and William Hutchinson. It functioned as a tavern, theater, casino, and brothel. According to lore, no respectable woman in town would ever cross the street to the opposite side of the Birdcage Theater. It began operations on Christmas Day in 1881, and remained open 24 hours a day 7 days a week 365 days a year, until it was forced to close for a short period in 1889. The New York Times allegedly stated in 1882, that between Basin Street and the Barbary Coast, the Birdcage Theater is the wildest and wickedest night spot in the country. The 148 alleged bullet holes that have been discovered in the walls and ceiling provide further proof of this. The crib compartments in the birdcage were designed like cages and were suspended from the ceiling, according to the legend. The women of the evening entertained their patrons in these bird cages. The song "She's Simply a Bird in a Gilded Cage," which was highly popular in the early 1900s, is said to have been inspired by them. 26 separate documented murders are known to have occurred in the structure between the years 1881 and 1889. There were also many other grisly and tragic events that happened there. One such event was an act called the human fly, which involves ladies walking upside down on the ceiling. These women wore shoes with unique clamps installed in the ceiling, and were clothed in theatrical costumes. One night one of the clamps slipped, killing one performer very quickly. She fell to the stage and was instantly killed. When the price of silver dropped to 90 cents an ounce, the remaining miners employed by the mines were laid off. Tombstone lost a lot of its population. Many people moved to places more prosperous. Finally, the Birdcage Theater closed in 1892 for good. It later became a coffee shop in the 1930s, and also served as several other functions over the years. Today it is a tourist stop and museum. It is reported to be the residence of at least 26 ghosts who have been identified through documentation, while up to 31 ghosts possibly may reside at the Birdcage. The first reports of hauntings came in 1921. The community of Tombstone built a high school which was directly across the street from the Birdcage Theater. Everyone in the neighborhood was aware of the building's unoccupied status. Students who would pass the building on their way to school began reporting unexplainable occurrences to their parents and other members of the neighborhood. They could hear noises coming from inside the building. Initially it was believed that these noises were from trespassers, but further inquiry revealed that nobody was on the property or inside. These noises are thought to have originated from the people who perished in the building's early days. The Hunley family reopened the structure in 1934. They transformed it into a tourism destination where visitors could learn about the history of the structure and the community of Tombstone. At this point, the theater's popularity soared considerably. Ghost hunter groups interested in learning more about paranormal activity, and even members of the media actually flooded the structure whenever there was a chance to see one of the ghosts that were supposed to haunt it, or to encounter some of the unexplained phenomena that were said to occur there. For no reason, the museum's sound system will occasionally start playing saloon music, surprising the living and delighting the people who go there. Many witnesses have reported having heard the distinct singing voice of a woman even when nobody else is present. Also, the sound of rolling dice and shuffling cards. Raucous laughter is often heard when no one is around. Unusual sounds emanating from the balcony boxes, the sound of conversation while no one else is present. Both the unique odor of whiskey and that of cigar smoke have been detected, while no one is drinking or smoking in the building. Things seem to move by themselves and end up in strange places. Once a visitor discovered something on a gaming table. It was a previously unseen $100 poker chip. It was kept in a safe by the owner for safekeeping. To everyone's surprise, the chip had vanished by the time experts arrived to examine it. After the specialists had departed, the chip surfaced once more in a closed desk drawer. There have been numerous reports of transparent apparitions roaming the theater building, clothed in various 1880s attire. Visitors have witnessed a room full of entities having a wild party in the main hall late at night. A regular sighting is a spirit believed to have been a stagehand. He has been seen moving around the stage while attending to his duties. He is seen with a clipboard, a visor, and black striped slacks. An 1880s-era female spirit has also been observed. She has been seen entering the wine cellar, before dissipating into nowhere. People have also observed the ghost of a man wearing an 1880s costume as he wanders the theater, appearing unhappy and confused while constantly searching for his wife. In one of the balcony boxes, a life-size statue of Wyatt Earp was placed. Following that, museum staff would discover his hat laying in the center of the floor below every morning. This went on for over 6 months. The statue was even turned entirely around one morning. Finally, a historian was consulted, and he informed them that Wyatt Earp had been placed in the box that the Clantons had previously reserved. The hat throwing ceased as soon as they relocated the Earp statue to the appropriate balcony box. Another popular spirit is that of the woman in white. She is considered the strangest of all the poltergeists at the Birdcage. This ghost is rumored to dress like a decent lady, which is unusual for a brothel. Almost everyone who works there has had an experience of some type with the lady. One worker claimed that he saw her enter the poker room after descending the stairway. She was dressed in white and sported a white bonnet. She remained motionless in front of me for a very long time, as if she was unaware that I was even there. At the theater in the 1980s, William Hunley held a séance. Hunley was the owner at the time. He recruited a well-known psychic medium to visit. She had a suspicion that something was wrong, probably caused by the poltergeist that was occupying the building. One vengeful spirit started strangling Hunley during the séance. Attendants were horrified. The violence didn't stop until the commotion jolted the medium out of her séance. William's neck felt sore for the next 6 weeks. Outside the theater, another haunting takes place. A Birdcage performer named Carmelita Gimmings poisoned herself with arsenic. A few nights ago, after we got finished working at the theater, where we are both employed, we came home," recounted Carmelita's boyfriend on August 17 of 1888. "She started sobbing after we went to bed for the evening. I questioned her about it, and she responded that her tears had nothing to do with me. She ingested the poison while I was in the kitchen, then yesterday after the rehearsal, I noticed her throwing up next to the sink. The next thing I knew, her niece Josephine had asked me if I was aware of Carmelita's situation. She's only mildly ill, I remarked. She said no, get a doctor, she has poisoned herself. Carmelita received treatment from Dr. Willis, but it was too late. The following day at 5 p.m., Carmelita passed away. She killed herself by ingesting an arsenic mixture known as rough on rats." That evening, out of respect for Carmelita, the Birdcage Theater closed its doors. Does Carmelita reappear in front of the theater? Carmelita might be hiding out on the outside of the building. It is believed she is chained to the brothel that killed her. The Birdcage Theater has been featured on Ghost Hunters, Ghost Adventures, Ghost Lab, and Fact or Faked, Paranormal Files. So what do you think of the Birdcage Theater? Let us know in the comments below, and as always, please like and subscribe.